Okay, now that you've heard my rendition of the X-Files theme song, let's get started. These are the 5 things that convince me that aliens exist. Reason number 1, Bob Lazar. This Bill Lumbergh looking dude, basically he, in the 80s, claimed to had completely attempted to reverse engineer a flying saucer, but to no avail. Story goes that he was always into weird science things. He would like take a car and, attach a rocket ship to it or something like that. So I guess the government hit him up and was like, hey, we need you on this project, but they were very hush about it, not telling him what it was. They were very secretive about it. They're just like, we need you to go to this place called S4. I don't even think they told him it was S4. That's what he said it was. But it was a couple of miles, I guess, away from Area 51. He goes there and he says there are multiple flying saucers there. And he and a buddy of his actually went to reverse engineer one to no avail. Like he claimed it was the equivalent of someone taking a motorcycle and putting it back in the 1600s. He was like, they might be able to start it, might even can drive it, but they wouldn't even be able to take the tire off. Now, what kind of convinced me, because it's a lot of people make up stories about how the government hired them for all this crap, blah, blah, blah. But what makes this one really interesting is he completely got canceled, like before canceled was a thing. So they erased all of his college credentials, all of his credibility. They were like, he didn't work at these places, he never went to these colleges. But luckily, he actually had a newspaper to one of the colleges he went to, and when he remade that car or whatever with the rocket on it. And so that was kind of the proof. Now, what makes it even weirder is at that time, he was talking about this element called element 115. And he said he thinks that's what the craft used to actually fly around. And the way he just described the craft was just crazy. He was like, it was completely zero thrust. Usually with any kind of vehicle or power, you have to have some kind of exhaust behind it that pushes it forward. But a plane, with a rocket, with a car, you have to have something that thrusts it forward, and this had zero thrust. He said it was the equivalent of someone just taking like one of those laser mouses on the wall and just moving it around. It was moving around instantaneously with no kind of thrust whatsoever. Back to the element thing. So he said that this element was used, and he described the element, and then I guess years later they actually put the element on the periodic table. Crazy stuff. Number 2. The Pentagon actually released 3 Navy videos back in 2004, 2014, and 2015 of these flying saucers. And these things, they look pretty strange because they're just moving. And I guess these Navy pilots were trying to follow them and they couldn't, but they did get them on film. And once the Pentagon released them, I was just like, wait, it kind of ties in with the Bob Lazar stuff as far as you don't see any kind of thrust or trail going behind them. And it's just, it's pretty interesting if you hadn't seen those videos. If it was some top secret government thing, they would have probably denied that they existed. And I actually think that they did deny that they exist at some point, but I think it was Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 that actually leaked it out. And then they eventually acknowledged that, yes, these were official Pentagon videos. And from the speed that they were going, I don't think a human could have piloted that. They're going ridiculously fast, and they're just moving away. And one of them is like on like an axis, and it's like tilting, and then it just kind of does like this. And we don't have anything that does that at all. At all. Number 3, Dr. Stephen Greer. Now this dude, basically, he has a degree in biology and he's a doctor of medicine. And he may be the one that you guys might be the most sketchy character of all the other things that I said in this video. But, he has pretty solid credentials. He's a doctor and everything. He claimed that he encountered them a long time ago as a boy, and what makes his story different from Bob Lazar or other witnesses and all of that is he actually claims that he can conjure them almost at will. I don't want to say conjure them because it makes it sound like they're just like a spirit or something, but he can summon them, I guess. I don't know if that's even better. It makes it sound like a Yu-Gi-Oh thing or something. But yeah, he can summon these beings, you know, with meditation and other means. And he actually has an app called the CE5 app, I believe. And I actually downloaded the app, and that will be another video about what happened there. That'll be another video. But I guess Demi Lovato actually went with him in one of these summits where he takes a bunch of people, goes out, meditates, and then the flying saucers come. She actually went there, and I guess she even witnessed it herself, put it on her Instagram, and yeah. I don't know that it's the most far-fetched out of, you know, some of the other things, but I mean, he claims to have about 4,000 different footages of these saucers, of the actual aliens, and he uploaded one, and it looks like it's like a triangle, like a pizza face or something. But I don't know what you guys think it is. Just leave a comment on what you guys think that looks like. But yeah. Number 4. Recent politicians discussing the matter. So Harry Reid actually said that there was a secretly funded department that investigated unidentified flying objects. And he admitted that around the time that the 3 Pentagon videos came out. He's saying that we've been funding this and we've been trying to investigate it, and he didn't really say what conclusion they come up with. But I guess he said that the funding was like under the table. And on top of that, recently Obama was actually asked about aliens from Stephen Colbert, and he was like, I can't answer that. And Stephen Colbert is just like, well, you're not answering it, it's answering it. It's saying that it exists. And Obama didn't, slow down from that. He didn't try to backtrack. He was just like, I can't answer that. Take that as you may. I know that isn't the most solid proof, but those are some of the politicians. Now, the most recent one was this former head of Israel Defense Ministry space program. He has a very compelling story. He says that these aliens have been existing not only existing, but have been in communication with us for a long time. And that they've come down here, we're talking with them, and the reason that it hadn't gone public is because the masses isn't ready yet, and it would cause mass hysteria. And he even says that Trump originally was gonna announce it publicly around the time that he announced the Space Force, but I guess the Galactic Federation, they said that it would cause panic, and so I guess he backtracked from that, and he decided not to do that. This guy, like I said, he's a professor, he's a high-end Israeli government official. These aren't people in the streets with just tin hats on, just saying stuff. These are actual, pretty legit people, for the most part. Number 5, the final reason that I believe is just the numbers back it up, the sheer science. There are 100,000 million stars in this Milky Way alone. And that's just all the ones that we, I guess, can somewhat count. And that's just in one Milky Way. There are millions or billions of Milky Ways. Not Milky Ways. There are millions and billions of universes. And if each one has the same amount of stars, just the sheer odds, it just has to be some kind of life out there. Now, I don't jump to the conclusion that necessarily they are more advanced than us, but some of them could be in the Stone Age, some of them could be in the Jetsons. Those are the 5 things that pretty much convinced me in the year 2020 that aliens exist. If not aliens, at least UFOs. So thank you for watching this. Please subscribe. Follow me on all the blah, 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 blah. Everybody does this. Peace. Bye.